Hi there, this is Sal Lizard, the Vampire Santa. You are listening to the Tim-O and Harley Show.
Welcome to the Tim-O and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Tim-O and Harley Show. I am Tim-O. Over there is my partner in mind crime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben, ho, 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 Harley. How the hell are you?
What's up, Tim-O?
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Tim-O.
Our big Christmas show, Ben Harley. Big Christmas show, yes.
It is. And today, our fans are going to get their Christmas goose.
That's right. Get it cooked.
That's right.
Just like us. Oh, boy, Ben Harley. So do you have all your Christmas stuff done, or you're going to be running around like a chicken with your head cut off? That's kind of your game.
Actually,
it's kind of your game to do
kinda,
that. Yeah,
kind of. But no, actually, believe it or not, Tim, I got some stuff pretty much nailed down. You know, a couple things waiting on to be delivered to certain people and things.
Nice.
So, yeah. Other than that, I'm pretty. I do have to get my brother a little something. So other than that,
well, the liquor store is right down the road. Just, just follow the legend on his bike. You'll find it. It'll be all right.
Yeah,
it'll be good.
Yeah,
you'll have something there for him. So, Ben Harley, guess what? I had another Christmas party.
Yeah.
This last week, and I picked up more movies, if you can believe it.
Oh, yeah.
It's been an odd Christmas. Now I get like a master list, and I give it to my mom. Okay.
Yeah.
Mom, she distributes them amongst our Christmas parties, our parties.
Yeah, sure.
We have a lot of parties,
right.
Every weekend. So,
oh yeah.
So it's been odd this year, Ben Harley, because it's like not the normal things are coming from the normal sources. So kind of fun because it's still a mystery.
That's good,
what
though.
am I going to get? Where's it coming from? And I'm down to my mom and dad now. So, well, actually, Angie's mom and dad too, but they're not part of my Christmas list. Yeah, I'm glad to have them over, and and whatever they grab is great for me. And they come over on Christmas Day, and we have Christmas Eve with my mom and dad over there.
Nice.
So it works out pretty good. Don't have to go too far from home, Ben Harley. Once we move to Dermal Ridge,
you'll be able to walk.
Be able to walk back and forth from party to party. Yeah.
Nice. Good.
Yeah.
That's why you did this, Tim. Well, now I see it's all coming together.
When I get something in my head, I make it happen. It's just the way it is. So
you're a lot smarter than I thought.
But there you go. But yeah, so guess what? So we did get on a couple, not just a couple, but now in the space-time continuum, as we record this, we still have about a week or so. Just a week, maybe just under a week for Christmas. So I still got time. But I did watch 2 Christmas specials with Angio and Chance. Okay, because I've been complaining about this, Ben Harley. They won't watch stuff with me. I think I stink.
There's something wrong, Tim. Did you make them mad?
I wore my peppermint schnapps, cologne, which was just pouring peppermint schnapps on my head. But it's Christmas time, Ben Harley.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas!
You beating people with switches and stuff again?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we got to sit down and now I got both these on Blu-ray, so that's always fun too. But got to watch the Peanuts Christmas special.
Oh yeah,
and the Grinch. Got the Grinch in there. The Grinch special too.
Grinch,
yeah. So that was good. I'm glad I don't know that song on the Grinch, because it would probably be 94% of my nomenclature. Would just be that song because it's so clever. I love it.
It is, yeah.
And I'm always blown away by the Peanuts Christmas special because they have the Linus thing where he talks about Jesus.
Yeah.
And I've read that even back in, was it 68 or 67 when I came out? That was pretty controversial.
Yeah, good.
And, but no, I actually kind of appreciate it because, yes, that is what the origin holiday is about. If you're a Santa Claus Christmas person, that's cool, but shouldn't be frightening where it came from.
No, not at all.
Someone's beliefs should not scare you at all. Maybe we wouldn't have wars.
Yeah. It has the word Christ in it, Tim.
Sure does.
I mean, that's part of it, right?
That's right. That's right. So, but that was fun.
Oh yeah, it's such a good one. Charlie Brown is a blockhead, though.
Oh, he is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Picked out a
Love
good
Charlie
Christmas
Brown.
tree, though. Picked out a good little Christmas tree. So,
did.
Yeah, but so it's got a little bit of time, so I'll have to report back on our big New Year's show next year. New Year's show.
Yeah.
I'll have to report back what we got to watch. Hopefully something. The way that Christmas is shaped up this year, and everybody knows this now because they just got through it, but we got a little weekend time right before it, which might be good for late shoppers. Might be good for some. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get a little time because we don't have a Christmas party this weekend. We just got one Christmas and Christmas Day.
Okay.
So that's it. So we're done with them besides that. But the movies are pretty cool. Got like Slither on Blu-ray. Got Night School on Blu-ray.
Night School, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a few 4K movies. X-Men First Class on 4K.
Ah, you like that one?
I do like that one. That's a good movie. So a lot of eye candy too. So I like to kind of see that in the highest definition possible.
It is possible. Yeah, exactly.
Enjoying
as it should be.
That's right. Well, I am now enjoying the 4K television. It took about 2 weeks to get for my eyes to adjust to it.
Yeah.
And now that I've got it dialed in, I can finally sit there and watch it and not play with the gears.
Right.
Which is tough.
Not focus on
the little
screen
differences.
itself.
Right. The little differences between the technologies. Yeah. And,
sure. Looks
wonderful. Looks magnificent. Really glad. I'm glad I got my plasma, but I'm glad. I'm still glad we got it. It's my eyeballs have grown a centimeter in diameter from watching it. I guarantee you that. But let me tell you about a few things, Ben Harley, that I've watched in this big old 4K
Christmas
television. And one thing I did not. One thing I did not. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to end up with that. So here we go. So first up, not a horror film, but I just thought you might want to hear about this. I watched a movie that I seen before, but it's been quite a while. I didn't remember I saw it until I started watching it. Okay. It's a movie called The Eagle Has Landed. This was on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Which you do have now, so I can't tease you about it, but I can fill you in. Yes. The Eagle Has Landed was, I believe, like 77 around in there. I think, don't quote me on that. It's the 70s. I know that. But it's a World War II story about some German soldiers who want to kidnap Winston Churchill at the end of World War II to try to do anything to help them at the end of the war. They knew they were going to lose, but they wanted to do something to try to...
one last effort.
Yes, absolutely. The movie stars Jenny Agutter, Jeff Conaway, Larry Hagman, Treat Williams, Donald Pleasance, Donald Sutherland, Robert Duvall, and stars Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it? Very good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, but yeah, that's a good one.
It is on the Amazon Prime, Ben Harley. It looks fantastic. The stream does. It's one of the good ones.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, not everything on Amazon is the greatest quality.
Yeah.
And I've never said it was, and it's not, but this is one of the real good ones. This is one of the real good ones.
Some of it, there just isn't good quality of those.
Exactly.
They're just not.
Exactly. Yes. You're going to be freaked out about a couple things here, Ben. I'm going to start right now. I'm trying to get this pretty quickly here.
Alrighty.
Now, I don't have Netflix streaming. I am 44 years old. I'm 20 years too old for it. Okay, so I don't have it, but I do have Netflix DVD, which I love and enjoy, and I've had since '99. Did you hear that correctly? I've had it since 1999. Right.
Yeah.
So what I did is I was very interested in a television show that they were producing that everybody's been talking about, and it's now available for rent on DVD, on Netflix DVD. So I rented the first disc of Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
And Angio and I watched the first episode just last night. Watched the first episode. It's okay. It's not. It's okay. It's okay. Just it really is an 80s kind of feel. It does feel like it does.
Say that. Yeah, they use it. Oh, I heard a little interview about that where they don't try to beat you over the head with the 80s stuff, but just to
But that's what makes it good.
Yeah.
They don't need to beat you over the head. They just put everything in frame normally.
Yep.
They aren't like, they're not playing with He-Man guys out of turn. They're not doing stuff like that. It is done pretty tastefully.
Yeah.
And the characters do have like this odd resemblance to kid actors from that time, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they all don't look like punk rock skateboard kids. They look like normal kids that like to play board games and stuff.
Yeah.
I do enjoy watching something without all the technology and all the cool. I've been tired of that since the 90s.
Yeah, me too.
So that was kind of not too bad. Episode 1, that's all we watched. Little intriguing. It's pretty intriguing. So we'll see where it goes.
Sure.
I also got the Game of Thrones disc.
I've been interested in that too.
Yeah, me too. But there's 8 seasons.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that's a little overwhelming for the kid here.
You need smaller doses.
Yeah. Stranger Things, I think we're talking about maybe 16 episodes or something I need to get into. But so it's not too bad. It's awesome. As far as TV shows, we'll see if how long I last. You know how I am.
Keep me posted.
I will.
Yeah, keep me posted.
So here we go, Ben Harley. Got on a kind of a strange freak out. One of the Blu-rays I got, over the last week or two, was the 1979 Dracula. With Frank Langella with the bouffant hair. Not bouffant, but poofy hair.
Well, yeah.
With the poofy hair. Hair. I watched that.
It's kind of Bee Gees-esque hair.
The whole movie had a little Bee Gees influence to it. I watched that and I started being like, it's okay. And I'm thinking, there's so many different variations on this. It's like this Dracula thing. It's just something that a little seed went into my head, Ben Harley. Just a little seed went into my head. So then I pulled out a movie that I had on DVD that I haven't watched yet. And it is streaming on Amazon also, but there is an abridged version of this film on Amazon. An edited version of this film. It's Frankenstein, the True Story from 1973. This was a 2-part made-for-television film. It was James Mason, Jane Seymour, Agnes Moorehead. Good cast, real good cast.
Yeah.
Purporting to be the true story. Okay. Now, we know there's no true Frankenstein story, but I'm assuming they meant the real Mary Shelley Frankenstein story. Okay.
Right.
So I watched this movie and I'm thinking, wow, is this the way the book really is? And I start looking on IMDb and people are saying, it's a great version of it, but it's not like the book. Not like the book. So Ben Harley, I just got about damn tired of it, So I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I decided to grab another version of Frankenstein. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein from, 94 or something like that with Kenneth Branagh and Robert De Niro. Playing the monster.
Yeah.
And I start looking at this and I'm thinking, well, how am I going to know what is the most accurate version of this story? How am I going to be able to come back to my podcast partner and our very handsome audience and report back to them what is the most accurate filming of the story? How am I going to know this? Do I trust the IMDb people? Come on now. Come on. Yeah. Let's be real about that. So Ben Harley, I went on the old iPhone, on the old iBooks, downloaded and read the entire novel of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Holy, you read something?
I read something. I read something written, I believe it was 1818 or something like that.
Wow.
So I dove in. Okay.
Oh, man,
I read the whole thing in
shocked.
It took me about, I read really fast. And I asked Angio, because she reads more than me. I said, I think I read fast. She's like, why? I was like, well, it was about 500 pages. I read it in about 6 hours. I go, is that fast? And she's like, I don't know. So I don't know either. So I'm bragging about something that might not be very neat or special. So there we go. That's how much I read. Reader. I have no idea at all. And you remember last, I think, book I read, besides Going Clear, the Scientology book, the last fiction book I read, believe it or not, was The Funhouse. Which bothered me to the point that I didn't read a road sign for a year. I just didn't want to look at words anymore. It was awful.
So I felt about Orca.
Well, God, I don't want to read it. I don't want to read Orca. I don't.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I do want to read Prophecy. I want to try Prophecy, but I don't want to.
I bet that'd be good.
Yeah, I think our pal Mark Diamond might have a copy of that, so I'm gonna have to track down maybe a digital version of that or something. So let me tell you, Ben Harley, let me just tell the audience, sit back for just a couple minutes, all right?
Sure, yeah.
Now, I've been in horror for 40 of my 44 years, more or less, all right? Started watching horror films about 4 years old, all right? I've heard shit left and right, the book, the movie, this has changed, this and that. Let me tell you a couple things. First off, the most accurate filming, okay? Now, there's a movie called Terror of Frankenstein from the 70s I haven't seen since I was a kid. Supposedly, that is very accurate to the book. I just don't have it right now, so I can't report back. So from what I have, which is everything else, including the Thomas Edison one, I have everything else, okay? Actually, I hate to admit this because I don't like the movie, but the Kenneth Branagh, Robert De Niro version is the most accurate that I have. Okay. It is the most accurate. Yeah. Let me tell you the story of Frankenstein. Now, the book starts with letters, okay? Yeah. Letters from a ship captain trying to go to the North Pole. Okay. And he is writing letters to his sister. And the whole beginning of it are a series of letters from this boat captain to his sister about why he wants to go to the pole, why he, you know what I mean? Like everything he has to do in order to ready himself to get a crew. I mean, it takes a while. He's talking about all this. Yeah. Then he starts writing about how they get trapped in the ice. They get ice locked. Okay. Yeah. And while they're ice locked, they notice a giant figure going across the ice, being pulled by a dog sled. Okay. Okay. But this was a large figure, much larger than being a normal person. So they see that. That kind of creeps them out. And then the next thing they know, they see something similar coming toward their boat. This is Frankenstein. Okay. On the meaning Dr. Frankenstein. Thank you. Matter of fact, reading this book, oh boy, just makes me more pissed off at people that call the monster Frankenstein, because you wouldn't even dream of it if you read the book. So anyway,
sure, yeah.
So he comes on board half dead. Okay, then the boat captain, writing to his sister, tells him all this stuff, saying, "I got the guy on board, and he's going to tell me his story. Like, what the hell is he doing up here on a dog sled? Right? I mean, it's like being in the middle of the Amazon and seeing Urkel walk by with a pocket protector, right? You just don't think you're going to see something like that." Yeah. So then the book shifts from a normal, it's first person from the point of view of Frankenstein, okay? First person, regular paragraphs, not letters and stuff, explaining his story. Okay. So his mother dies in childbirth. Okay, and while this is happening, he sees a tree get hit by lightning, and the tree just disintegrates. Okay, and it starts planting the seeds in his head of life and death and stuff like that. Plus, his mother dying in childbirth, just dying, yeah, and stuff. So he goes away to medical school, and he kind of he has a lot of problems with some of his professors and stuff, but he likes one of his professors at the same time. Okay. All right, so now he decides he wants to create life. Okay, this is his thing. He gets it stuck in his head. They never once tell you how he does it. Sure. They never once talk about grave robbing. They never once have electricity anywhere in the equation. They never, it just happens. They just say they just say that he gets the important pieces together. You can tell he's putting this together like body parts, but they don't. Mary Shelley doesn't really give you the gory details of this. Just says you need materials. Okay. And your chemicals and materials. So he puts this thing together, and as soon as he sees it, he knows he's done something wrong. So he just leaves. He leaves his laboratory. Okay. Now his friend Henry Clerval, like his family back, he is actually from Geneva. Okay. All right. Yeah, Swiss. Yeah. Okay, so from Geneva, his friend Henry Clerval. Now, none of these characters are the same in any movie. Okay, so his friend from back home, Henry Clerval, everybody's worried about him, including Elizabeth. Yeah, they're all worried. Now, Elizabeth's kind of like his cousin's half sister. So,
oh, really? Okay.
Long time ago, things were a little different, but actually, I do believe she was kind of adopted and was almost brought into the home to pair up with Victor Frankenstein. So anyway, so Elizabeth is nervous, as so says Henry, and Frankenstein's father is not well, so he can't travel. So Henry comes, and Frankenstein's worried because he's like, if we go back to my place, they're going to see the monster. Well, they go back to his place, they don't see the monster.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, monster's gone. Like, okay, cool. So basically, when he comes back home, his little boy, the one that the mother died in childbirth, has been murdered. Oh, wow. Okay, he's been murdered. And then there was a necklace that the little boy had, and they found it on another household resident. So there was like a cousin or another person in the house that was a gentle soul that was not mean at all. So they find that necklace on her. So she gets put to death for the murder of the little boy.
Oh, jeez.
But now Victor Frankenstein knows this can't be. And he starts, and he just almost automatically knows it's the creature. So he runs into the creature, okay? Then the book changes from the first person of the creature. Then the creature tells you everything he went through.
Oh,
now, when the creature speaks, it isn't like, "Have I died? I want you." He is like, "The melancholy of my existence, Mr. Frankenstein, is this." I mean, the guy is like...
He has some daddy issues.
What I'm saying is he's well-spoken.
No,
that's what I'm saying, okay? And the other thing, too, is that he's ugly. And nobody can stand to look at him, okay? So he's more monstrous than anything I've seen on screen, which bothers me because I'd like to see this.
Yeah.
I mean, really, almost more like the Van Helsing movie with Hugh Jackman in it. Like that weird looking, like really, really strange looking. Yeah. So he tells a story about how he basically held up outside of that blind dude's cabin. But the blind dude had family live with him. That's how he learned to speak and everything. He would peek through the walls and he would watch stuff. And that's how he learned how to speak and all this other stuff and how he learned how to read, right? He stole books and would read books. So he was reading, I mean, Ben Harley, the creature was reading Paradise Lost by Milton. Okay. This is not, it's not one of these things. So basically he tells Victor this whole story. Okay. Then it switches back to Victor Frankenstein telling the story again, because what the creature tells him is he says, "I killed these people. I did this because you did this to me. Now, if you want me to leave you alone, I want a mate. I want you to make me a woman." And he doesn't want to do it, but he finally agrees to it. Now, when he agrees to it, he goes with Henry Clavell across Europe. And this is all explained. Mary Shelley wrote a lot about environments and emotions. It was definitely a woman. No offense. I'm just saying she was thinking more like a woman than a man, because when I was reading this, I'm like, I don't really care about your internal struggle, because the whole book is basically like about internal struggle. It's more philosophical and melancholy. Sure. Okay. Oh, yeah. And stuff. So he says, sure. And he ends up in, where does he end up? Is it Germany or something? And then he starts working on the woman, and then he just realizes this is a bad idea. So he destroys it. Oh, really? And the creature was following him the whole time. And the creature says, "Don't you do this. Don't you do this." He's like, it's like, no, you can't make me do this. If I make a woman, it's just two of you maniacs running out there. I'm not doing it. And then Frankenstein's creature just says, well, then I will be with you on your wedding night. Oh. Right. So Victor Frankenstein goes back home. He gets married. And on his wedding night, yes, the creature kills Elizabeth. And so basically what happened was that's when Victor Frankenstein was chasing the creature up to the pole. Oh, really? And was telling him this story. And so basically then the end of the book shifts back to letters to this, I think Walden was the boat captain's name, back to the sister, like writing notes to the sister. And Victor Frankenstein dies in bed on the boat. Okay. Oh. And when he dies, the boat captain leaves his bedside and comes out, and he hears something inside Frankenstein's room, bursts into Frankenstein's room, and the creature is in there. And they have this philosophical conversation with words that are way too big for either one of us to spell. And he jumps out the window. Just leaves. The creature leaves. Yeah, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah. Okay. So that's it. That's the story. There's no burning windmill. There is a Elizabeth. So anyway, that's a little wordy, but Ben Harley, I'm tired of it. That is the novel Frankenstein. That's it. That's a very big cliff notes to it. It's you know what though? It's good. Yeah, it was good. The end of it's really good. Like when the creature is out of his mind, it's really good. He doesn't kill hardly anybody. The creature doesn't. He doesn't want to. Right. No. he does, when he is watching the family in the cabin, he does try to befriend them, and they freak out.
Yeah.
They freak out. The blind thing, like, yeah, there's an old blind man, and he talks to him for a minute, but as soon as the old blind man feels his face, he's like, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here, man. My hands don't like what they're seeing. Yeah. And but it's so descriptive and so detailed that the other thing I'm going to tell people is they're never going to make a film version of this that's going to satisfy fans of the book. Okay? Never. They're never. I mean, it goes into the fact that the old blind guy's son has a subplot with Arabs, Muslims.
Oh, really?
And there's a Muslim woman that wants to marry him because her mother was Christian, sold into Muslim slavery.
Oh, wow.
And the book actually starts talking about how you don't want to be a Muslim and a woman and stuff. And I'm like, woo, boy, this is incendiary for 2017. And it was a little bit. Now, they don't dwell on it. But it did catch my eye just because of everything in the world today. And I know this was written hundreds of years ago, so I'm not trying to make a statement. It raised my eyebrows. That's all. Not in any certain particular way, but I was like, oh my. But yeah, so I read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, Ben Harley.
Yeah, Tim-O, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
In 6 hours.
It wasn't very long.
My eyes would have been bulging out of my head at that point.
I had to fight sleep sometimes because it was just like paralyzing me into sleep, just like having my eyes move back. It was basically getting hypnotized.
Yeah.
Because I'm not used to it. I'm just not used to reading, or whatever.
Not that much, huh?
Yeah. So, well, that is Frankenstein, Ben Harley. That is the story of Frankenstein. And I will tell everybody, if you go on at least iBooks, it is public domain, so you can download it.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I also, Ben Harley, just want to let you know, I also downloaded the novel, which is also public domain, of Dracula. But I did not read it. I just downloaded it. I didn't read it. I just thought someday I'm going to look at this because I've always heard that in the novel Dracula is way more of a monster like Nosferatu, the film Nosferatu.
Right.
I might find that interesting. That I might like. Yeah. That because I do like Nosferatu. That's to me is the best Dracula story.
Yeah, it's a good one. Mm-hmm. And a creep.
Yeah, he is.
What a creep.
Yeah, not super handsome, Ben Harley, not in that one.
No.
Right. Well, that was the other thing, too, because the Frankenstein, the true story, the made-for-TV one, when he creates the monster is a real nice, handsome-looking guy.
Okay.
And he starts to deteriorate. So I thought, was that in the book? I kept just questioning things. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to read the book and find out for myself. So that's what I did. But there you go. So I hate to spoil it for you, but people, you've had a little time to read the book, and I have a feeling if you haven't,
hundreds of years.
I feel like if you haven't read it, you probably won't. But that's the book, and it's still really interesting to read. It's still an interesting read, and there's a lot of details, of course, that I'm leaving out of all those pages and all that the description and everything.
Sure.
But yeah,
no, I find that pretty interesting.
Yeah. So that's what it was. But the creature was more superhuman. Like Bigfoot. Like when it ran, they said it ran in like inhuman speeds through like the woods and stuff. I mean, so it was literally like the Hulk or something. It could jump, leap huge distance. Ran real fast. It was powerful, and very agile and stuff. So. But I tell you what, though, man, old Frankenstein, boy, he didn't want that dude to be around. He hated that thing. And I kind of felt that there was a little bit of moral ambiguity to it.
Yeah.
Because who do you side with here?
Right.
I mean, Frankenstein made the creature, and yet the creature's doing this. So you don't really know. You think both these people are damned.
Yeah.
They got nothing. Yeah, and all the people around him are suffering for it, basically, so... interesting. That's what I got, though, Ben Harley. I just want to tell you, I read Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. That's good, though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'll try to make it towards that one of these days. We'll see.
Well, like I said, it's free.
You told me what I need to know, though, so I'm good.
Pretty much. I pretty much did. And I will tell you that, yes, the Kenneth Branagh versions, it's really close. I mean, it's really close. They fudge some things around, like his friend Henry Clavall. He meets him in the movie. He meets him in medical school, which is not true. He has no friends in medical school that I know of, except for one of the instructors. He does this all on his own. He has no help. No help doing any of this. There's no Igor characters. Elizabeth is never in. Where is he studying at? I can't remember where he's studying at.
Yeah.
I can't remember where he goes. Where was it at? Oh, Paris, I think. Was it Paris? Okay. I can't remember now. See, I can't remember already, but I'm just saying, like, Henry comes and visits, but basically just Victor Frankenstein goes back after he makes the creation. It's just odd. Yeah. He kind of creates it. It's like he talks about it. He gets the materials. It's made. It's
and
made.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the cinema versions, they have weird different ways of electricity and this and that, and they don't even say. And the thing is what's funny is that they try to get him to tell how he did it. He's like, "Are you kidding me? I'm not telling you people how I did this. So you can make one of these demons?"
Right, exactly.
I was like, no way. So that's kind of the way she got around explaining it, you know.
Oh, that's good.
But she was definitely in touch with her emotions and geography. Because a lot of the book was geography and emotions. So.
Right.
I've heard the internal arguments and struggle of Victor Frankenstein ad nauseum at this point.
Yeah, as I say, at length.
Yeah. So what you got, Ben Harley? Give me some stuff.
Well, Tim-O, I'm trying to figure out how I can lead us in from Frankenstein. Well, maybe let's try this. I watched another abomination. Is that close enough?
There you go. That's close enough for me.
This is like an abomination.
All right.
Tim-O, you said I was going to do it, and you're the one that sent me this, but I did sit down and watch Jaws for the Revenge.
It's kind of hard to turn away from, isn't it?
Ooh, and I can't remember the last time I watched Jaws for the Revenge. It might have been the first time I watched Jaws for the Revenge. Tim-O. That movie's even more painful than I remember. Just god awful. God awful. And it's funny because Mario Van Peebles, and it kind of reminds me of Jar Jar Binks in it a little bit too. It's like, oh man. Well, you know what, Tim? And it does. I will say it starts out pretty good though. Like, and I remember that too. The original first scene, kind of, where. Was it Sean Brody, the little one, right?
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, was a cop in the boat.
Yeah, and he gets eaten there, like in the harbor while the Christmas thing's going on. I thought that was kind of neat because it's, he's out there, he's being eaten, he's yelling, but nobody can hear him because they're practicing for whatever the Christmas pageant. Right. And very good. And then it just goes, this movie's so bad, Tim. I just cannot describe how bad and how, like, she stabs the thing with the boat, right?
Yeah. Okay? Yeah.
But what's so funny is because they put that little charge thing in its belly, which makes that electrical charge, which makes it roar and come up out of the water. But I just don't see how any of this stuff physically could have happened. There's just no friggin' way, you know. And I just can't believe that they actually really tried to put this out there, and I don't know.
Well, what did I say?
This was.
Yeah, what did I say when I watched it though? I kind of did some digging and I did watch some stuff about it, and they re-edited the ending like 3 times. I mean, it's what you're seeing isn't exactly. But didn't
the version you sent me had Mario comes back to life at the end?
Didn't the version I sent? Oh, you know what? I went on YouTube.
Yep,
if you go on YouTube, you can find like the different endings and the variations to it and stuff. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Because I don't think in the original, when it first was released, he didn't come back to life.
No.
And then, but yeah, I don't know, Tim. It's just awful.
Yeah.
What an awful, awful movie.
Yeah.
I'm just so, it's like I had to do it. I really did. And it actually makes Jaws 3 look good. And I still don't, and I don't like Jaws 3 either. I just don't, But, wow. Whew. Yikes, man. Yikes.
I actually do kind of like Jaws 3, but the thing with Jaws 4, it's like, man, talk about a movie about the people who you don't care about anymore. I mean, you can care less at this point with these people. You just want to see some shark mayhem.
Oh, and the whole, like, she knows it's coming. She knows, she senses it.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And the fact that the shark is coming after the Brodies is even more dumb.
Yes.
And then the fact Mario Van Peebles gets chowed and bitten basically in half by the biggest shark there's ever been seen. And they have him come back at the end. No, I don't think so.
No.
And Michael Caine, oh, God, just everything about it is just god awful. Just god awful, man. I can't take it.
Well, did I tell you what Michael Caine said about the movie?
Yeah, I was telling someone about that the other day where he said, I've never seen it either, the movie.
Yeah.
I've seen the house it built, right?
Yeah, I sure like that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awful, Tim-O, awful.
I tricked you.
Let's see here.
I got you to watch it again.
Yeah, you did. Tim, I finished up a couple things. I finished up the Black Sails television show.
Okay.
It's over now. Not bad. He said it was based on Treasure Island. And so some of the characters are real characters, I guess, and or also it just tells the story of how kind of pirates and the Skull and Crossbones. Actually, right at the end, it kind of shows how the Skull and Crossbones came to be and stuff. So the ending was okay, and it's hard for me to watch finales sometimes. It just, for me, it never really seems like it's good enough. Maybe. So this one was okay. I still like it. There's 4 seasons. I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters. I like the ships, all that. I like that time period. Pirates are all right. I like pirates. These ones weren't like, some bloodthirsty pirates in it, but basically it was just kind of showing how pirates came to be.
Privateers.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
They worked for the British Crown?
Yeah.
They were like a Navy militia, basically, in a way.
Yeah,
they? And they got to keep their booty. And then
for the most part, and then they tried to take over.
Yeah,
there was this place, Nassau, is what this one keyed on.
I've been there.
It was how.
Been there.
Yeah, that's how the basically that was it. The whole thing was between them trying to get the English holding on to Nassau and the pirates trying to take it over and to go to war, going to war with England and stuff at this time period too. And that was good though. Yeah. And a few of the main characters had worked for the British Navy. The one main character in it, Captain Flint. And good stuff. It's just, man, history just blows my mind. Yeah. It's very historical, Tim-O.
I think with that, I'd rather watch a documentary. I have seen a couple. That's kind of how I knew about the privateers and like what pirates really were and stuff and how they evolved. Yeah. They did. They evolved into something much more malevolent than they started off as.
Bloodthirsty.
Yeah, a little bit. So, and it's very interesting though. Yeah. And I've been to Nassau. Really I've been to Freeport, Nassau down there. Yeah. So I totally get that.
I was wondering about that. It's not that big of an island, is it? Really? Is it? A lot of stuff went on there, Tim, to keep that place. Yep. Pretty cool though. I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the series. One other thing, Tim-O, a series that I've been catching up on, Exorcist had its final. The second season just wrapped up.
Oh, okay.
Pretty good. I know you and I talked about it. At first they were kind of going around helping others, with exorcisms, and then they kind of end up keying in on one family towards the end. Probably the majority of the season. I'd say 75% of this season keyed on this certain family. Okay, but really good. It ended well. I think you might enjoy it, Tim-O. I don't know if I liked it any more than the first one, but I do. I still like those two characters, Father Thomas and Marcus, whatever, the guy who's teaching him. And I think it's there's good enough characters in it. It's spooky enough. It has enough cool things in it like that. I tell you though, man, they're going up against the Catholic Church right now too. Oh, boy. It's yikes. Oh boy. I don't know if there'll be a third season, but they left it wide open for another season. So hopefully, I wouldn't mind seeing another season or two. I think I could stomach at least maybe 2 more seasons, and that'd be good. So good stuff there. If you get a chance, Tim-O, you might enjoy that one. You might.
I don't know if I'll get back into that. I liked the one season. It had a little bit of a connection to the first film, and I think I felt satisfied. Like I was like, okay, I watched a season of a television program, kind of like I got through an episode of Stranger Things. We'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah. It's okay. So I do enjoy it. Now it's not something I like would run home and watch. And I was 2 episodes behind, and I finished those up. And I like watching these shows like that. Sometimes I'll watch 2 or 3 episodes, and get them out of the way and stuff, which is nice. Right. Another show, Tim-O, Gotham. Man, I don't know if that was the season finale I watched the other night, but it could have been. I don't, the way that one's so weird, the way that one operates. And I'll take a 2-month or 3-month hiatus, and then right. But I must say, the season's been okay. It's been okay. It has its high, for me, it's good. It does have some really good high moments, but for the most part, it's just good. You know what I mean? It's not great. at times it is, but it's just I enjoy it. Okay, but man, I will have to say at the end of this last 2 episodes I watched, mostly the last episode, I must say bravo. They got some good stuff going on right now, and looks like the Joker might be coming back, or the guy who looked like they were grooming for the Joker, but he just he disappeared for a while. Well, he's back, Tim-O. So, but yes, good stuff. I do enjoy the characters. There are some really good characters in it. There's some that are, and they do touch on, like I said, the Solomon Grundy thing. They got Firefly. They, loosely touch on some of the smaller name, Batman villains and stuff like that. But it's good. I'm glad to see it. The fact that you brought out Solomon Grundy, same thing. Bravo. That's all I can say.
Right,
you did it. You know what? I give you kudos for that. You tried it. You know what I mean? So not bad, Tim-O. I will get back with you. But Bruce Wayne is being kind of a jerk a little bit. And I know, Alfred had to give him a little smack, and he also emancipated himself from Alfred.
How's old Gordon's concussion? How's that going?
Oh God, he's always fighting, man. That guy's had a concussion every week. That guy. Let's see. I'm trying to think who he fought this last couple episodes. He's a tough little guy, I tell you. Man, I tell you. But yeah, he's in a world of hurt right now. Oh yeah. Some crazy stuff went down. I mean, even stuff that just, was like eye-opening, and I enjoyed it. I was like, wow, that's good. You know what I mean? I actually was satisfied. So 2 more things real quick, Tim. I'll touch on them real fast. Watched Bad News Bears the other day.
Oh,
love Bad News Bears. I just love that movie, you know, and the more I haven't really watched it in a while, but every time I watch it, I enjoy it. It reminds me a lot of my youth for some odd reason. I don't know. Maybe because I played on a couple teams that were like the Bad News Bears.
They all were kind of.
Oh, God. Yeah. But what a great movie. Walter Matthau is great in it. They're all good in it, Vic Morrow's awesome in it too, And,
that last scene made me want to jump out of my seat and cheer. When they, I just thought that was great. You could never have an ending like that anymore.
It's totally different. That's what we were talking about. Is like you just don't, and that's what even as a kid for me that was like, because it is different. It is not your typical ending, and I think that's what made that movie different. It's just what a good movie.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie, and it really, for me, growing up in that time period and stuff, and you too, I think. It's just it's really true to life. A lot of that film was, and it really was, and it didn't pull any punches, and those kids were, just knuckleheads, and I just love it, man. It's just such a good movie and so well acted, and there's tension and drama and laughter. It's got everything in that movie. I mean, there's some serious tension too. When Vic Morrow goes out there and smacks his kid, off the plate, or the guy's, the pitcher, off, pitcher's mound. That's just. Wow, you didn't expect that,
right? Oh yeah, no, it's just a good movie. I mean, it's just a good movie. It's funny because it's true.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
And so no, that's a very excellent movie. I'm telling you though, that last little jab of that team.
Oh yeah,
I love it. God,
it's awesome.
I was like,
even the parents are like,
I know. And you look at it like, is this the alternate ending? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like, that's great. Yeah.
Okay, one last thing, Tim-O. One last thing, and I wanted to say this for you. I saw one of your good friends, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, over the weekend.
What?
Yeah, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was at the Toledo Walleye game.
Really?
Wendy and I went to the game on Saturday, and they had they've been doing some really cool things. So they had Star Wars night and different things. Well, they had a wrestling night or superstars of wrestling night. I forget how it was worded or whatever. But yeah, they brought out old Jim Duggan. He dropped the ceremonial puck.
All right.
And then he signed some autographs. And I saw a couple people I knew, this one guy, an old wrestling friend of mine. He was, he's giving a little 2x4 signed and all, just silly stuff. But, I tell you what, Jim Duggan, I never was the biggest fan of Jim Duggan, but I like Jim Duggan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How can you not help but like the guy as far, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just silly. And it was neat, like in between face-offs and things, they would show clips, and it was funny. It had him fighting the one-man gang.
Oh, yeah.
And winning in which I love the one-man gang. And then it has him win the battle royal against him. And then the next clip they show a few minutes later, here he is fighting the one-man gang again, but at this time, the one-man gang is Akeem, the African Dream.
Right.
And man, it was so funny. Those two clips were so, I was like, holy crap. And I'm trying to explain to Winnie, I'm like, see that guy right now? Never mind.
Yeah, right.
He used to be the guy before, but it's so funny. Like, it was a good time. Great game, and it was a rough game. I mean, there was some WWF type stuff on the rink, or some wrestling stuff. But yeah, fun time. And I even gave him a whole tough
there
guy
you
for
go.
you, Tim-O.
There
Just
you
for
go.
you, Tim-O. I
There
thought,
you
nah, yeah.
USA!
I thought you'd enjoy it. Oh, tough guy. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
But I thought you'd enjoy it. It was fun.
Cool.
But yeah, it looked like he was having a good time.
Oh, I bet.
I think he's been hit in the head many times.
I think he has too, yeah.
Yeah, but he's happy about it. He's not.
I'm sure he is, yeah.
But that's it, Tim-O.
All right.
I had a lot as well. So.
All right, let's get to our fish little films, Mr. Ben Harley.
All right, Tim-O.
All right.
I know what we're doing.
That's right. See, first up here from, oh boy, this is for us like a brand new movie, 1993.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see here. We have the film The Dark.
The Dark, yes.
Starring a Stephen McHattie.
Yeah.
Stephen McHattie.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me get you a short synopsis here. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Something is alive beneath the surface of the graveyard. Something with the power to destroy and the power to heal. One man, a cop, is determined to kill this mysterious creature. Another, a scientist, is determined to capture and save this miraculous being. Stalking the creature in its subterranean habitat, neither man is aware of the battle they are about to start. A battle for science, survival, and revenge. I didn't really say much of shit about nothing. I don't know. Okay, so this movie is called The Dark, starring Stephen McHattie. Got a Nev Campbell in this movie too.
That kind of freaked me out when she appeared on. I was like, what? When did Scream come out?
That was 96 or 97?
Yeah, I thought it was a few years after.
Oh,
this.
yeah. So she stayed the same age for about a decade.
She did.
Basically.
She still looks. I
Yeah,
mean,
so
I'm
she
like,
was
how
like
old was she supposed to be in?
I don't know. She's like a 13-year-old sheriff in this. So
Yeah.
I can't think of a better way to get away with smoking pot. So there you go. Got a Brian James in it too, who's been in about damn near everything. And James Woolvett, who was the young punk guy from The Unforgiven. He's like the male star of it. He was a guy that couldn't see real good, remember? And he was kind of trailing along. Like, it wasn't Morgan Freeman and Clint Eastwood in that movie. He was kind of tagging along with them. Yeah, that guy. That's funny. So they basically, go up against. He looks familiar. Yeah, they basically go up against a rat dinosaur. Or as I like to refer to it, as a carnivorous scavenger. So basically there is a giant rat dinosaur monster that is burrowing under a graveyard and is eating the corpses out of the graves via underground. And then Stephen McHattie is someone who's like, what? He's following him. And am I mistaken if he gets if he gets like attacked or scratched by one of these things, he kind of becomes superhuman because he gets shot in the beginning and he gets better real quick. Yeah,
like this. What happened is like whatever the saliva or something that this thing secretes, this rat dinosaur, has healing powers. So like when he got shot, some of the blood or whatever splattered on him too, and it healed him. So he carries around a little bit of that black ooze or gunk from the monster and keeps putting it on people to heal them and stuff.
Right.
It's a little, I don't know.
This a good time to let you know that this was Canadian.
It
was Canadian. Yep.
Sure feels like it.
So we got that going on, and then that's basically the story, and it's basically like everybody's trying to figure out what's going on. Stephen McHattie's trying to get to this creature. Everybody's kind of showing up, meet each other, and it's like basically it's like a poor man's Graveyard Shift. Yeah, the movie Graveyard Shift, and and so there's a lot of cheap scares at the graveyard, and things like that. The thing with this movie is I think it's kind of a cool idea to have like giant rat dinosaur burrowing around underground and making tunnels from grave to grave and eating things and stuff like that. I think it's very cool, but this is also a good example of a movie whose budget isn't enough to make a satisfying version of what they want to do.
What they were trying.
Yeah. And the other thing too, and I have to admit to you that I didn't say this, and this is something that usually I say, but Angia, who's been married to me long enough now, that some of my like genius part is starting to rub off on her a little bit. Okay. At the end of the film, Angie looks over and says, in fairness, it wasn't bothering anybody. It was just eating dead people. So why were they after it? I'm like,
well, the one guy, what's his name? He was ex-CIA, right? Or something like that. And I don't know, he had a thing for it.
Yeah, I know.
Makate wanted to save it. He just wanted to save it because of its healing powers. But you're right. And Angie, I know Angie's right. And you're right because you married her.
It didn't bother anybody.
It wasn't bothering anybody. It was actually doing a public service.
Yeah.
It was making more room in the cemetery.
Right. It was no different than a worm.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was just on a larger scale.
Yeah.
And uglier.
Right. It's, like, there's a long, drawn out sex scene in a hotel that is like way too much. I don't need to see McCaddy doing that. I don't know. It was just, and then there's some really poorly shot and edited and conceived monster scenes. I mean, bordering on outright lazy. I mean, just like they just had the monster like move to and fro half a foot and they shook the camera around and edited it as if it was attacking. And it was almost as if McCaddy was like attacking the creature, trying to make it look like he was being attacked, not unlike the octopus monster in Bride of the Atom, the Ed Wood movie.
Exactly. Yeah, move around.
Right. And I think that another thing too, I know you hated the end because they had a silly, sympathetic, pathetic end.
Yep.
And I told Angio, I said that you are going to hate the ending. And I'm going to tell you something else. Animals don't die like that.
No. I don't know why, Tim. It came up and it was sad. It was very sad at the end. And it seemed like it wanted to make friends. But I don't know. I was like, oh, God.
Like, I want to make friends with a baked potato I'm about ready to eat. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it understood Makati there at the end. I don't know. But, they might have looked in each other's eyes at one point and they just knew. I don't know. But it's. Whew.
Well, it's about, in my opinion, it's about 10 or 15 minutes too long. And that might account for most of the sex scene. But it also kind of feels like a Full Moon movie from that era, from the 90s. It has that kind of feel to it, that budget where it's just kind of not enough.
It's just not. It'll never be enough.
No. The cast is actually the highlight, I think.
Yeah, they're actually good. They're well, for the most part. I mean, I think it was, what's this guy named Jake? I was just starting to like Jake. And he got shot in the stomach and dumped down a hole.
Oh, yeah.
There's some scenes with that. I'm like, okay, we know Jake's hurt and stuff, and I do care about it. But just move on. Let's move the scene forward, but.
Well, I think McCaddy actually draws you into the movie. And I think he kind of he tricks you because he draws you in and then doesn't give you much to chew on, basically after he draws you in. Because he is good. He's good in this. He's good in everything. Yeah. I think he's got a great voice, a great, weird, kind of spooky look to him, and so all that's pretty good. Yeah, he does. Yeah. And, I meet him in person and he looks off too. God. Okay, I tell you what.
I hope he's not listening.
I don't even know how to explain him. He didn't affect what I thought about him as an actor. He's one of the shy ones. Let's put it that way. I think he's one of the quieter, shy guys, which that's not uncommon. Especially brilliant actors seem to be kind of eccentric and shy. Not that I'm not eccentric a little bit, but
very.
yeah. But I can't grape ape up this movie though. It's trying. It's kind of like our kind of movie or my kind of movie. Just a simple monster movie. They tried to do something interesting with the monster, like giving the guy people who were attacked, instead of them turning into monsters, they turn into superhumans almost.
Yeah.
I find that really fascinating, but then I kind of have a problem with the rest of it, because it's like, this ought to be more like Iceman, the movie Iceman, than it should be like, Jurassic Park or something. It's like, and the monster's okay. As a matter of fact, what I did like about it is I thought it was just simply a big rat. My memory was that, and then when I saw it, I was like, "Oh no, this is like the rabbit that jumps out of the hat in the Twilight Zone movie."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was more like that. So I'm gonna. I can't totally poop on it because McCaddy I like so much.
Yeah. And
it is interesting because of the Nev Campbell thing and stuff. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna side on a poop, but I'm not. I'm hanging by a fingernail to poop on it. There's a couple things that are saying it could be silly fun to watch for you some night if you've just done I don't know, a bunch of angel dust or something.
A bunch.
So we'll give you that. We'll give you that. That's about it. What do you think?
I don't, Tim. I can't really poop on it either because there were some redeeming qualities. I just it started off really kind of weird. There's a very painful diner scene when he first meets his diner girlfriend. Yeah. For his waitress girlfriend there. But there's some, God, it's painful. Mm-hmm. But then from there, after they blow up their motorcycles or whatever, take off. Yeah. After they beat up the biker gang and take off, it's not. From there, it wasn't as bad to me. Mm-hmm. I just think the monster itself is, oh God, it's awful. Yeah, it's awful, and that hurt for me. I have to poop on the monster. I gotta.
But even looking at it, you can tell it could have been so much better without more money. Just a little different design or something. And
sure. And it did look like a giant rat or hamster, kind of like a dirty hamster. Yeah. And it just, I don't know. And that was hard for me. I'm like, I'm not scared of it. No. And then they came up and wanted to be petted. And that was it. That
completely flushed everything down the toilet that could have possibly been. Yeah. That's, you Canadians, you crazy Canadians, Ben Harley.
Yeah, yeah, they are crazy.
You live way too close up there. I'm surprised you're not catching on to this stuff yet. But I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad.
Yeah,
you don't
me
need
too.
This stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they left it open for a part 2, Tim-O, but I'm not sure that there is a part 2. So I don't know. Maybe I'm still hoping.
Right.
Put it that way. Yeah.
Well, you just keep waiting for that, and I'm going to move on to our next official film here, Mr. Ben Harley. From 1967, the Hammer film. Depends on what title you want. The, I guess, newest title for the film, newest being probably 40 years old, is 5 Million Years to Earth.
Okay.
And the original title for the film is Quatermass And The Pit.
Yes.
And this is a Quatermass film. So Quatermass we've watched Quatermass movies before. I know we reviewed them.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Brian Donlevy did Quatermass. Played him, I think, before I'm not a big expert on the Quatermass. I know a little bit about him. To me, Quatermass is an earthbound Doctor Who. Okay. He's real brilliant and stuff. He's so smart, he can brain you. And things like that. So he's your hero because he's smart enough to figure out what's going on.
Right.
And that's kind of what Doctor Who always was too, in a way. And so, whereas Doctor Who was a Time Lord that went around the galaxy or the universe in his police call box. Yeah. This guy just goes around by normal means of transportation around England, around the UK. Let's see here. Let me get you a short synopsis here for 5 Million Years to Earth, a.k.a. Quatermass and the Pit.
Yeah.
A mysterious artifact is unearthed in London, and famous scientist Bernard Quatermass is called into to divine its origins and explain its strange effects on people. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
There's people digging in the underground, London Underground. I'm assuming they're doing something with the tube, with the underground train around London. They dig into what appears to be a UFO and mummified, what look like it's alive babies.
Yeah,
look like it's alive babies to me a little bit.
Yeah.
So they call in Quatermass, and they actually call in Ben Harley. I'm on another freak out. I just want to let you know. They also call in a Dr. Matthew Roney, the other doctor guy, who was James Donald, who was also the doctor in Bridge on the River Kwai.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
And with him comes Barbara Shelley, your old girlfriend.
Yeah.
So Barbara was Barbara Shelley. Yeah. So they basically, this movie takes place in the London Underground. They find this, they don't know what it is. They keep saying it's a like a leftover bomb that hadn't been exploded or something, an experimental weapon of some sort. But Ben Harley, once they try to drill into the damn thing and do this stuff, and they find the little ugly it's alive babies underneath it, but you know something's just not quite right. Just not quite right. And so something appears to have psychic powers.
Yes.
That can really bug the hell out of the people that are working.
That's not nice.
So and I'm going to hand this over to you, Ben Harley. I've seen this quite a few times. Always enjoyed
really?
it.
Okay.
Were you okay with the fact that Barbara Shelley was doing her cosplay of Thelma from Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, she did there for a little minute. Yeah, very happy with that.
And real quick, too, it was directed by Roy Ward Baker, who did Asylum, Monster Club, your favorite Titanic movie, A Night to Remember.
Oh, yes.
Vault of Horror, Scars of Dracula. Lots of stuff. So what did you think, Ben Harley, of Quatermass and the Pit, otherwise known as Ancient Bugs from Mars?
Yeah. Well, they're not very handsome bugs. They're definitely, they kind of look like, I don't know, they're like in between like a grasshopper and a praying mantis.
Yes, exactly.
And it's alive, baby. Yeah. It took me a while to catch on a little bit. This one, believe it or not, Tim-O did move a little slow for me at the beginning.
It's got dialogue, I hate to tell you.
Yeah. Well, I know. Like, damn it,
Yeah.
But yeah, they do. They find, at first they kind of come across a skull, I think, first, right, Tim? And then from there, the skull, then a couple more bodies, and then they find the ship or what they think is the bomb. And it is the bomb, though. It's the bomb
It
ship.
sure is, yeah.
Yeah. But that ship's kind of a jerk because like they try to drill into it and nothing will happen. Like they try to torch into it, they try to drill into it, nothing happens. But then all of a sudden, like a hole appears in it. Like it looks like it's been kind of melted, and that's where they find the bugs inside and all that. And then it just kind of, I don't know, Tim-O.
It's basically protecting itself, it seems like.
Yes.
Like they're trying to figure it out. It doesn't want to be figured out. So it's basically telling them to leave them the fuck alone. But humans being the curious, dumb creatures we are, we can't let enough alone.
We keep pressing.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got to press the subject, And so it gets a little pissed and starts taking over some people's minds and making some weird, because like, what is it called, Tim-O? It's like Hobbs End or something.
Yeah.
And I did see something like where Hobbs means the word devil, I think, or something. And they thought that might be something else going on too. Like
they were talking about how these creatures put together could be the reason that's gargoyles and stuff on the sides of buildings, and that are legends of creatures and demons and devils. Because the bugs from, why does it have to be Mars? Anyway, the bugs
always from Mars is just taking a bad rap all these years.
I told Angie, I said, it's funny, and I'm just going to let this out there. I know this theory about the panspermia and like maybe that we came here from Mars. I don't discount anything's possible. Anything's possible, but man, that's not my first go-to. I don't know. It's Mars, but
if we came from Mars, Tim, where's our ships at? Did we just?
They're in the London Underground. You just
there we go.
Yeah. But no, the bugs have horns on their head that do make them look like basically like you're at a Dio show.
Yeah, exactly.
And so so they kind of make. I like that stuff. I do like that stuff. They we're tying it into old legends and stuff.
Yeah.
So kind of cool.
And like what they bugs that have been here for 5 million years.
Yeah, I think so.
Is what they think so. And then then a lot of stuff just like breaks loose, Tim-O, from here. I know they are able to kind of, what do they take? There's like another machine that's introduced where they can read people's mind, or try to not read people's minds, but they try to figure out what the ship is saying.
Yeah.
I think is that how? And then it shows them images of what they looked like when they were here originally and stuff too, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then it just gets pissed off and starts fucking things up. Then it starts just tearing up shit.
Yeah.
And then it tries to possess Quatermass too at one point, doesn't it? I think too.
Yeah, it does. There's a little bit of Horror Express in this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where they find the Bigfoot caveman, basically, and it's dead, but it kind of like
it can still
psychically
take over your mind.
It psychically protects itself on some level or something like that. So there's a little bit of that. My problem with this film is, and I've seen this, I don't know, 5 times maybe, something like that. I always really liked it, but I can never remember the ending. And I wrote down, it's a damn clumsy ending. That's why I can't remember. It's real interesting on the way to the end. And then can you please tell me why that James Donald, the guy from the Bridge on the River Kwai, why the hell did he climb up the crane to die?
He climbed up the crane. He had to do something to affect the actual, I don't know if he had to short circuit the monster. It was something like that.
Climb a ladder will do that?
No, he climbed. It was like it was a crane. It was a crane. And then the crane, I don't know. All I know is the crane, when it touched the monster, it blew up. And so did the monster. And it's funny because the monster at that time was kind of like a holographic image. Yeah. And I kept thinking it looked like now I've never seen the Loch Ness Monster or Nessie, but I have an idea. And that's exactly what is funny because that's what I kept thinking. I was like, is that a water horse? Is that Nessie? I kept thinking, which was kind of funny. But I don't know, Tim-O. Yeah, it had to do something with that crane and touching I don't know, but he sacrificed himself.
I mean, I was a little cooked when I was watching it, but I looked at Randy, I was like, okay, what? Like, I was like, hold on, now wait, now, and that's the thing too, because I've seen it so many times, I'm like, and I always remember closer to the beginning, as it gets through the movie, I remember less and less and less, because it is a movie that I think starts better than it ends. It tries though. I mean, it tries, and it is interesting, and it's got a lot of good qualities to it.
It's a very thought-provoking film, Tim-O, as far as it just, this is a good one for someone who's into, like Tim-O, who's into more stuff like that. Which, I mean, it does. It's good. It's well acted. Yeah. I just think I enjoyed it a little bit more towards the end when at Quatermass, he started to get more and more frustrated as it went on and coming, out of his comfort zone and stuff. And I liked that stuff too. I thought there was a little bit more chaos going on. It was a little bit more interesting. The beginning was just too wordy. There's just too much. But yeah, they were like, so one thing, and I sorry I didn't touch on this, so we, the humans, were supposed to be kind of like creations of these monsters, I think too. Like we were ape type. Altered apes, I think is what they were.
And that is an old
that's
theory.
That's a good name for a band, Tim. I think that's the Altered Apes.
That's a good name. But yeah, that's a theory in my mind that's got a little credibility. I mean, is it possible that something came here and screwed with us? Well, that's what they say God did. So yes, of course it's possible. I mean, it just depends on what words you use. But to me, it looks the same. It's just like, I think that religious people and scientific people are saying the same things sometimes about evolution and stuff, that just use different words and stuff. I always find it funny they can't get together. And this is that same kind of thing. It's just that these, for some reason, giant grasshopper praying mantises wanted to make the It's Alive babies look handsome like us. Right, I can't blame them. Maybe they needed, unlike Frankenstein's creature, they needed mates. And, God knows when the sum of all that work becomes Tim-O and Harley. He's got a successful, handsome,
very successful
end game going on right there, let me tell you.
It only took 5 million years.
Speaking of that, little side note, Ben Harley, I did have to punch my chest out a little bit. And I kind of wiggled my Peacock fans at old Angio and said, you're not doing too bad being married to this guy. She's like, why is that? I said, old Andrew Keir, guy playing Quatermass? She goes, yeah, he's 41.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He was 41 in there?
41.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So I showed a little nipple and I was like, check me out, flex a little muscle. like that, and said, "Yeah,
God.
at least I don't look that old. I look pretty old, but I don't think I look that old. If I do, I don't know. So don't tell me. Just go along with me."
141. Jeez,
no kidding. Again, from 1967. Look, this is a Hammer movie. It's not your standard Hammer movie. It is in way. You know what? There's a lot. This is pretty aggressive though. With set design and special effects for a Hammer film. It is kind of aggressive for it. And I enjoy it. It does kind of fall apart for me at the end, but it's almost like the beginning is so interesting. You don't care. It's like, I don't care. It can't go that great. I mean,
no.
Kind of like the creeping flesh in a little, like how it just blows you into this big thing. And then at the end, it's like, it gets wet. It's just kind of what happens. I'm going to give this just a great babe. Just solid.
Okay.
I was going to do a mile, but more and more I think about it, I really do enjoy this movie. I really do. I've just seen it a few too many times, and then by the time I get to the end, which I don't remember, all I'm doing is going, "Why did he do that?" And no wonder I don't remember the end that much. But it's still a solid great babe because it's entertaining.
Yeah.
And for me, it is a little bit of a brain massage, which is not normal for some of these movies, and I do enjoy that.
No, it's more of a Brainiac type film, which is good though too. And I read some reviews too. People were really raving about it as a sci-fi movie. One of the better sci-fi movies from back in that time period and stuff too. But
it definitely is.
It just confused me a little bit. But like I said, the bottom line is they came here, they made us, but they also left a little imprint of themselves on us. So when they needed to use us, they could. And that's what they kind of do at the end. And people have some more psychic type powers and they can blow people down and drop buildings on them.
Yeah, it goes haywire.
It
goes haywire. So.
But I'm going to give it a mild grape ape up too. Okay. It's not that I didn't really enjoy it. It's a little too brainy for me at times, but I liked the ending a lot more. I think it's good. It's a good sci-fi film,
right?
Though it is, especially for someone who's really into this. Like my daughter would have enjoyed.
Oh, okay.
This, but she's a Doctor Who type fan, and stuff like that. It's something that she.
Oh, she definitely would like this then. Yeah, she definitely like this. Yeah. So, there's no Michael Ripper, so that kind of hurt it a little bit. I needed a Michael Ripper. Needed a Michael Ripper. So, all right, Ben Harley, we'll see here. We've got Quatermass In The Pit. You got a mild grape ape. I just got a regular solid grape ape. The dark, I think both of us are just like, forget it. But if you got to have fun, get some good drugs though, just to try to get you through it. But Ben Harley, to you and to all of our listeners, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, y'all. And you too, Tim-O, and be safe and have a happy holiday and everything.
Well, thank you, Ben Harley.
And I hope Santa brings you everything you and our listeners get all that you are wishing for, and have a blessed Christmas too, though.
Well, thank you, and you as well. And next week we're gonna have our New Year's show. We're gonna have New Year's. So we're gonna talk about. I don't know what we're gonna talk about. We'll figure it out though. Maybe we'll talk about what we did last year.
New Year's Evil. We're gonna do that.
There you go. So, all right, Ben Harley. Until next week when we celebrate New Year's, Merry Christmas, and we will talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people, and Merry Christmas.
You've been listening to the Tim-O and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.